Welcome to Woodbee's Carpool Movie Critique, where each week, Kelley, Remi, James, and I see a new movie and critique it. This week, we saw A Wrinkle in Time. I think one of the best parts about A Wrinkle in Time, some might say the only good part, is the costume design, which is absolutely fabulous for each one of the misses, these kind of like fairy godmother type characters. So they were done by Paco Delgado, who also did all the outfitting for the cast of Les Mis and The Danish Girl. Oh. So he's got like this really nice background, and he's also done a lot of costuming for like big singers who tend to do sort of over-the-top costumes like Lady Gaga and Rihanna.
He has done Lady Gaga.
Yes, he has.
Nice.
Okay.
And so he tried to incorporate the story and the backgrounds of these three sort of fairy godmothers into it. So Oprah's more of like the star, and so her outfits are more metallic and shiny,
right?
Diva-esque with a little bit of structure, because she's the one that holds them all together.
And a little bit of drag queen.
A little bit of drag queen.
Hers were always a little spiky with the silver, the spikes, and the hair were in spikes.
Yeah, and so because Reese Witherspoon's character is like a little bit more of a novice, and she's a little bit more in tune with like the flowers and whatnot, he wanted to give her more of an earthy sort of tone. Yeah, so that's why the green. He was inspired with one dress from Volcano, so he really wanted to take it to like an earthy place.
Is that why her hair was all red as the lava?
Yeah, okay. and then Mindy Kaling is basically the librarian of the universe. So he really wanted to take different fabrics and structures and even some fake words from all different kinds of languages and put them into her outfit. And I think the coolest thing about these outfits is that he tried to use unconventional materials. So he used a lot of paper and like mylar and just odd things that you wouldn't necessarily put into clothing.
Did Mindy Kaling's dress... was it made out of paper?
A lot of her dresses were made out of paper because all of her hips were so big on all those dresses, and they tried a bunch of things that were too heavy for her to walk around in. So a lot of the stuff around her hips is made out of paper,
Okay, I thought I saw something like that watching the movie, but I'm like, there is no way they used paper.
They did. They did.
Awesome.
And a lot of the spiky, shimmery stuff that they used on Oprah was also paper.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job, I think.
Yeah.
That was definitely a nice aspect of it.
Yeah, do you think it added or subtracted from the acting and the cast? What do you think?
I think it was probably necessary to, kind of keep most of my attention, at least. I mean, cast-wise, I don't think they did a terrible job picking the people they found. Obviously, there's some great actors in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, some new ones who were new to it, whose performances might have been slightly sporadic in terms of how good they were. I am talking about the kids, obviously.
All of them, or only
I think they've all got incredible potential.
Okay.
But I feel there were a few scenes where you just didn't quite get the maximum potential out of them, or they didn't quite score the emotion correctly.
I see.
Which makes me think that the movie was almost certainly shot out of sequence, which is, it kind of like throws you for a loop emotions-wise.
Well, you're destabilized. You don't know what's happening, why, when, why are the colors changing?
Yeah. And, you find with a lot of movies that are shot in sequence, the performances from the actors are generally better because they understand the story better. They understand what their character's going through the entire journey. So
I feel like this is still part of the director's job to make sure the actors understand where they are at in time, with respect to the movie.
Like even
what
if
kind
it's
of
shot
emotions,
out of
exactly, what kind of emotions they're supposed to be feeling right now. So I'm wondering if it's a directorial issue. I can talk about that later.
Entirely possible. And what else? Oh yeah, I just could not really move past the fact that Reese Witherspoon was just playing Reese Witherspoon, who could turn into a
Creature.
leaf made out of gammon, which was horrifying. I'm not gonna lie, that was just horrifying. It was like watching human flesh be tanned and then turned into some sort of flying machine.
I really was reminded of one of those bottom feeder fish things. What do you call them?
Like a
Soul.
Replace.
Yeah.
Flounder. Sebastian.
No.
Ursula.
To me, she kind of looked like she was an unwrapped Brussels sprout with the head of an artichoke. But it's not a bad thing necessarily. I don't know. It kind of fit with the rest of the design from the scene, I think. But
it was an
it
odd
was interesting.
transition, though.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Compared to where they cut corners everywhere else, that was pretty long.
Yeah, talk about the other transitions.
No, I think they still cut corners with that transition for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't see the purpose of it all. Like,
She could fly away.
it was visually beautiful and entertaining.
Yes.
But there's a lack of continuity. You don't understand why this is happening.
What I gathered from that flying scene where she was an artichoke, Brussels sprout, gammon, fish, was I think they did all of that. One, for the beauty of the scene, and two, to show that the main girl, I've forgotten her character's name. Meg. To show that Meg understands physics.
But what does that scene say about friendship? Because they just let the boy fall. I mean, the people on the ground, so Mindy and the flowers come after to help save him. But that creature should be able to speed up her down descent.
It tried.
Well,
Do you remember?
did it really try?
It didn't do a good job of it, but it tried. There was
I didn't
some effort
understand
there.
that friendship at all, though, because Meg and the boy, like, what were they? Were we supposed to understand that?
I think they were newly like closer friends. Like he probably had
Closer
some.
friends.
Yeah. I mean, you can see.
I'm going to define my...
No, but he came to see Meg and Charles Wallace. Wallace. Yeah. He.
See,
That was
his
a
name
weird
is
name.
burned into my memory.
I know.
Meg, not so much.
But so he met them when they were like walking the dog. We can talk about that later. But when they were walking the dog, and he said, "I don't know why I'm here. I was just drawn here."
We don't know either, dude.
But it never became clear.
Exactly,
Shouldn't it
but
have become clear at some
Before
point?
that, they knew of one another, but they
Right.
were not like friends or romantically involved in any way. And we're still not sure. At the end, it kind of looks like they would become, but we don't know at the end.
Yeah, well, Charles Wallace said, like, well, you were called here, and we're just supposed to be like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
I'll
Oh,
Suspend my
right.
disbelief.
sure.
As, you know,
Okay.
This small child is like networking and organizing all these people,
It's a smart child.
including some of which who happen to be near as makes no difference gods.
So do
Like
we-
Oprah.
Yeah, do we understand why Charles Wallace had these relationships with the missus? Like, did that ever become clear to you?
That I don't get it.
I
He's
just
supposed
don't
to be
get
special.
any of it!
Like I don't like.
I should not leave a children's movie feeling the way that I feel.
How do you feel?
I want to cry.
Out of anger?
I'm sorry that I'm a little emotional, guys.
Disney, you've made a huge error somewhere.
Wow.
Okay,
Kelley.
let's talk about some of the transitions and the editing and the continuity.
So, after James talked about the cast and how performances didn't look as good as they should be, and maybe it was because of the characters, that reminded me of actually the director. I think her name is, I'm sorry, Ava DuVernay. So it's Ava, not Ava. Okay, Ava DuVernay. She directed actually quite a number of films and TV episodes, and one of them, I think the most impressive or famous one would be Selma. Actually, it was a great film, but when I watched the film, I thought exactly the way James thought. Like, it kind of diminished the performance of the actors, and I believe this is the sole reason the main actor in Selma did not get Best Actor.
Oh.
I believe that
Strong.
with the direction of the editing and all that was the reason why, and I felt the same way. A lot of things in the film have been rushed to a point that is not understandable. At the beginning of the movie, they are trying to build this relationship between the father and Meg. And it really is a minute and a half, 90 seconds, 2 minutes. We don't really have time to feel it. The movie tells us they have this great relationship, but we never feel it. And that to me is a big problem, because then you are just passive watching the movie and being like, oh, she's trying to get the father, instead of, you go girl, go get that father back. Whatever.
I think if they didn't have Chris Pine, it would have been way worse. I think he was some of like the glue that actually kept me like almost there. If they had gotten someone else, I don't think I would have.
He was very dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
What really bothered me in how the movie was shot is that it was very tight. Like, everything was super up close. You had very few medium shots, like almost no wide shots. The only time
on the glasses and the eyelashes, and
so and these shots are okay if you are just, trying to get a description of what's going on. But a whole dialogue of that close in your face,
you don't feel anything.
It doesn't feel like it's driven by anything specific, like emotion or feeling. Sometimes it was, and that worked out.
I did start counting like the white hairs in Chris Pine's beard. Like, it was that tight.
It was that tight.
Yeah, and sometimes it was shaky for no reason. Like, why would you add a shake if it's not supposed to make you feel like some, some tension? Yeah. Well, that's for action. That's for tension. But some scenes, it's not useful. It doesn't serve any purpose.
Well, because here it's a fantasy. We're supposed to be in a state of extended disbelief, and we can't, because we're taken out of it because of those technical aspects.
Yeah. And I don't think I got an understanding of the space at all, because it was so tight. You never have most of the time you don't have any establishing shot for the spaces. Like, when they go into the garden, you can see in the bouquet in the back, you can see some color in the flowers, you can see a pergola in the back, but you don't really get a sense of the whole place.
I think part of that worked when they were in the new spot, because they were like, where are we? And then they backed out. But you're right, they didn't do enough like establishing shots when they should have.
And the reason why we also don't know or understand the relationships between all the characters is we rarely see all of them actually in the same shot. It's
true. It's so close up.
You can see it once or twice. That's what I noticed, at least. And to me, that fails to create a bond, because that how can you get behind a group of people if you don't feel a bond inside that group?
It almost feels like the entire movie sacrificed, a lot of good story and character development and stuff like that in exchange for it to be some sort of visual spectacle, which didn't really work super well as a visual spectacle.
It's no Avatar.
It's not enough. I mean, visuals are great, but it's not enough to make a good film. I mean, ask the last 10,000 movies by Luc Besson. It just doesn't work.
Sorry, Luc.
Okay. Question for you guys: how many times did you count the voice being out of sync with the picture?
Oh my God, that was awful.
Lost count. I don't have enough fingers and toes.
No.
Yeah. But that's what happened. The problem is, I think they didn't. She only shot like super close, and at some point the editor was like, "Dude, this is way too tight, way too close. Nothing is working." So they went back to some of these, like, action shot where they filmed a character rolling around, and they were like, let's just overlay the sound there. We don't necessarily see their face, so we don't know they're talking. It just doesn't. It was visible. That's just bad. And so I think the editor was trying to save the movie somehow, and that ended up being quick cuts after quick cuts after quick cuts. That just don't work, and it really felt like I know. And it really felt like it was jump shots versus a well-written movie, and jump shots can be good. Not here.
Right, if they serve a purpose.
A lot of those quick cuts would happen when something was happening that you wouldn't mind actually seeing, but you're just seeing someone else watching it happen. Oh, what? No! Stupid!
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, and at some point, and that I might be very wrong about because I only started counting towards the end, but I did not count many L cuts and J cuts, and that's when you start fading in the sound from from your next shot into the current.
Letting it bleed in.
Either you let it bleed in, or you have the previous shot bleed out in terms of the sound into the new shot. I didn't get too many of these, and that's why it feels so choppy as well.
Yeah,
I
Makes
think.
sense.
Hey, Kelley.
Yeah.
What else do you feel?
Wait, continuity. Kelley, tell us about the dog.
So I don't understand this dog appearing out of nowhere, right? Okay, we've got the kids walking the dog, but we never see the dog in the house.
Nope.
The kids spend a lot of time in the backyard. We never see the dog in the backyard. No sign of a dog house.
Did you see any dog toys?
Did you see dog
No.
fur in the house?
No.
What?
Immaculate house.
What kind of dog doesn't jump at strangers coming into your freaking house?
Or
And
bark?
it's a big
Yeah.
dog.
This dog.
I mean, this dog is not one of your pocket poodles that can just materialize out of nowhere. This
It's a
was
big-
a substantial dog.
You know,
I felt like Meg hated the dog as well when she was walking it.
There was a little disdain.
I think I don't
That's
know.
why there wasn't much dog.
And I don't know whether it's on purpose or not, but I think, or if I'm right, but I think it's because they were not able to handle the dog in the shooting, and so they decided to cut all the dog parts in all and everything.
Yeah, but then
But they
why
needed-
just
but
find
they needed-
another dog? That's
That
And
could
why,
be. That could
why
be.
weren't there dog things? A dog bed I didn't notice. A dog house I didn't
That's
notice.
true.
You know, leashes I didn't notice.
Yeah, so you're probably right.
But
It's not bad.
It's a
It's not bad.
Trying to give the
I
benefit
tried.
of the doubt.
I
You
tried.
did. You did.
it's a goddamn Disney film. Dogs join you on the adventure.
Yeah.
That would have been so great.
Yeah.
Seeing that dog try to stand that leaf creature.
Yes. Or in the cave of the seer, trying to balance on those things. You know, like
I would have enjoyed that.
I would have enjoyed that.
Alright.
So for me, my favorite part about this movie, well, besides the opening credits, would be the ending credits. So, okay,
Ouch.
let's just take a step back. I loved the eyebrows on Oprah.
Yes.
They were always
Yes.
very twinkly and glittery. And
Yes.
actually, there was this kind of glitter theme that I felt like wanted to be a part of the whole movie,
Yes.
but really didn't end up playing an integral role until the ending credits, where it was absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. And so you see kind of like snippets from the film ending up in the ending credits.
Snapshots, yeah.
Yeah, snapshot. But I don't know, it was a lost potential, and I feel like
Yeah.
the cast had so much potential, and then that wasn't highlighted. And I
Sort of
just
petered out.
was so disappointed. Like, I'm feeling more
So
emotional
funny.
now than I was when I was watching the movie.
This is what I felt when we left The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
Disappointed and felt like it was rushed, even though like it had so much potential.
Yeah, it was rushed too, I agree.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
Ratings?
All right, I give it 3 Bs because I'm a sucker. This is my Hallmark movie that I get sucked into, even though it's bad. I give it 3 Bs.
Fair enough.
I enjoyed it.
That's good. That's good.
I'm giving it 2.
Okay.
I want to, be a little more generous, purely based on the fact that I love a lot of the cast.
Yeah.
I am really excited to see where those kids are going to go, though. I think they've all got a pretty bright future ahead of them in
Yeah.
the world of acting.
Yeah.
I give it a 2 as well, just because, again, great potential, but I believe mistakes or choices that were made were detrimental to the movie. So
Choices.
there we go. It didn't reconcile me with Ava DuVernay, and I'm really sorry. I really,
Tried.
I mean, I don't think she is bad or anything. It just doesn't work for me.
I felt a connection with her, though, at the beginning. They had that lead-in where she
I
was...
agree.
Yeah, she was introducing herself in the film, and I was like, oh, yes.
I'm gonna like her.
Yeah,
I
but-
feel this connection. I like this.
But you know what kind of movie needs an introduction
they've
from the
been doing
director?
that a
Yeah, I know
lot lately.
Disney probably.
They have been doing that.
I don't know if it's very useful.
Well,
I
how
don't
many stars, Kelley?
know. Kelly, we're here.
I'm torn.
Stars?
Oh,
Bees.
Sorry. How many bees?
Branding, guys, bees. I'm torn between joining the bucket of 2 Bs and going a little bit lower. I was just so terribly disappointed.
Then go
All right.
lower. Do what your gut says.
I'm gonna go with 1.75.
Oh.
3/4.
So guys, next time, join us. We're going to be reviewing another movie as we carpool home from the theater. And if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment down below. Did you have any emotions about this? Tell me.
Did you feel anything?
Yeah.
And have a happy and safe St. Patrick's Day.
You're great. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.